eventually. You are listening to the unscripted, unfiltered, 100% authentic, the Air Rated Tech podcast. It's yours truly, Mike here. It's been a while since I've been behind the mic, literally. And first things first, if you hear a dog in the background, that is my dog. So I don't know what it's barking at, but hey, whatever. It's been a while since since we've since I've been recording podcasts. A lot has gone on since then, and we'll kind of touch base real quick about that. But first things first, before I do that, sorry Twitter. First things first, before I do that, we got a fun show. Miss Teshia is back. It's been a while, Miss Teshia, that you've been on, but rightfully so. I think it's been on for quite a while for everyone. But how are you doing this evening?
Fantastic. Happy to be here. Thank you.
Well, I'm glad that you're willing to spend some time and to hang out, talk some football, and kind of get our mindset back to football because we're about 2 months away from camp starting. So I'm all down.
Oh, so it's super, super close.
So we will. Speaking of coaches of blocky, coach, I see you on Twitter. Welcome. Glad to have you on. First things first. People are always wondering what happened to me. Life has been busy. School has been busy. Went to Israel. To all my Israel fans out there listening, went to Israel the 9th. Well, I flew out the 9th of May, and we got there about the 10th of May afternoonish, and then we stayed until the 24th, and then got back in the United States on the 25th. So that was cool. It was fun time, definitely experience, and so I enjoyed it. But a lineup to be had coming at you next week's episode, which will be taking place recording wise this week, but next week's episode features my two good buddies, Herb and Raj of the Herb and Raj podcast. Will be next week. But first things first, Miss Teshia. We're going to talk some football, Chiefs, Broncos, kind of talk some Tom Brady and take it from there. But I know it's the 2022 season recap real quick. It's been a while, but I mean, obviously, you got a lot to say, but I'm sure you're going to keep it short and sweet. How would you, besides the Super Bowl, how would you recap the Chiefs
Oh,
season?
you took it right from me. I was going to say, we did this little thing called win the Super Bowl. So
Is
there's
that what you
that.
call it
I mean, I don't
nowadays?
know that it gets any better than that. Our season was great, man. It had ups and downs. Typical, Chiefs fashion. But yeah, I couldn't be happier. It's a lot to follow up on. So hopefully, up and coming this next season is just as exciting. But yeah, you gotta have hope. So,
Of
how
course,
about you?
it, oh, there's a lot to say. Real quick, of course, for the Chiefs, and I'm being a serious question. I know it's a dumb one for some, but of course, every fan base wants to win a Super Bowl, and that's everybody's expectations. Did the Chiefs? Did you expect the Chiefs to be in the Super Bowl last year? I mean, be honest question.
I mean, as much as you always
After the
want to
offseason
expect
losing
it.
Tyreek Hill,
I mean, I had doubts. That put a lot of thought and perspective into motion. But I mean, clearly we have right now shown multiple times the ability to adapt and overcome. So that's pretty exciting. So as long as you have that momentum going, there's always hope. But yeah, any good football fan would have to say it's jagged, man. You go up and down with it. So overall, super happy. Wouldn't have
well, I'm
bet on it
sure.
week one, but just saying, I'm super glad.
No, I wouldn't either. I think I would have, I wouldn't have gone Denver route by any means, but I don't think I would have went Kansas City. But I got nothing against them. But for Denver, I don't know. I wish Clyde was here, but he'll give you a whole Looney Tune bin one and then some. But kind of wish he was here. But here I'm just gonna leave it at this. The coaching carousel continues. The quarterback carousel continues. I don't know if Russ is the answer or not. We'll see in 23 with Sean Payton. But disappointing. I mean, I'm not going to say go too much into it. It is what it is. Definitely disappointing. And I don't know how many wins we got. What, five? I think six. It don't matter. Yeah, we'll just leave it at that. Disappointing. We just sucked last year. Anyways, uh, off season. Of course, you guys are coming off a Super Bowl win, and off season. I don't really put much into it, but I know many people do. Any shockers or any draft as we look at the draft and look at the offseason so far, headed into camp really here in the next what 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks. Um, any what do you think about the Chiefs offseason so far and the draft? What did you like about the Chiefs draft this year?
I mean, I think we drafted pretty well. It's real methodical. A lot of research and time goes into it. I'm a huge trust the process person, so there's a lot I don't know about some of the players that we added on. It's one of my favorite parts is to watch and learn. See what they do, see how they fit in. So I think that's exciting. I don't really have too much thought to put into the off season because I mean, all you I just sit around and wait. So as soon as things
Exactly.
start turning and we start, seeing some movement on the field, I, I don't know. I'll make my judgment then, but I got to see some results first.
No, I think
But
that's fair. And
overall,
I think that well, I think that's a fair answer because you look at the offseason and so much really goes into it. I mean, people sign people and you got, injury during camp and draft picks that may or may not work out. I mean, it's really a diamond in the rough, so to speak. But Denver, I don't really know. I mean, they spend a lot of money. I mean, again, I think I pretty much will take the words out of you. You got to put it into action on the field and draft pick, draft. I should say for the Broncos, I really wasn't really hoorah about anybody. I mean, Marvin Mims, I guess, and I'll be a little biased on that just because he's an OU Sooner. But really, the draft for Denver really wasn't nothing to really brag about. I'm not really, stoked on who we got, but it is what it is, and we'll see. Like I said, Sean Payton, I think offseason wise is obviously the biggest acquisition, even though I still hate trading picks for people, but whatever. Draft picks or offseason recap, I should say. I think Sean Payton being the biggest acquisition for Denver. Um, if we can't with Sean Payton, then I don't know at this point. Um, I'm concerned. Russell Wilson, I think he will be our day one obviously quarterback, but do not be surprised if he gets benched throughout the season if he struggles continually. I'm just saying. Tom Brady, speaking of quarterbacks, Tom Brady officially says he's not coming back. Of course, Josh McDaniels is out in Las Vegas, and the Raiders really need a quarterback, even though Jimmy G's their guy. Could we see a near 50-year-old quarterback named Tom Brady come back, Tisha, anytime this year?
I learned a long time ago, don't ever bet against Brady. Nothing's too crazy. I mean, realistically, you would think absolutely not. But we've thought that how many times? So I don't have a lot to say there. I'm gonna sit back and just we'll see what happens. I'm not get too excited either way. I think it's about time for him to just sit down and start watching some games. But every time I've thought that before, it came right back up and bit me. So uh, I don't have too much to say there personally. Would it be like theoretically, is it possible? I mean, really, anything's possible. Um, I really don't think so, but I've been wrong before, so we'll see. No,
I just hope he retires. I hope he stays retired. Nothing
yeah,
against
you
him.
and everybody else. I don't think there's a whole lot of people on that bandwagon there that are like, "Come on,
I
man." I
think
mean, maybe
all
6 people.
I think all 31 teams of the fans are hoping that he stays retired. No, I think he's done. I think he's actually done. His play last year. And, his final year was really, really bad. And I don't know. Besides the Raiders, I really don't know what team, barring an injury, I don't know what team would actually want to put any kind of effort into Tom Brady. I mean, I know he's Tom Brady, and I totally get that. But at the same time, I think it would
He
have
needs
to
to stay
be
home and play with his kids. He's earned that. Come on.
well, what he should have done is stayed home the first time, and he probably wouldn't have
Yeah,
had
y'all better listen.
any marital issues or to being divorced or anything else that's coming with that. And I think he would have been perfectly fine. But no, I'm with you. He needs to stay at home and be a dad to his however many kids he's got. I think two, I think. But
2 or 3, something like that.
something like that. I don't I don't really know for sure
I'm
for
not a
sure.
Tom Brady expert, so
Well,
you
yeah,
would have
I
to
don't follow
call
people's
in somebody
lives.
else.
I'm
I
not.
mean, I like
What's
the
that?
juicy stuff, but it's all right. He
Now I bet
had
you
he
would.
had fun. His last few years playing, he had fun. I think he had a good run. So I don't know. Why wouldn't you want to hang your hat while you can and it's still high?
He
But you never
should have
know.
retired after the Super Bowl with Tampa.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Been like John Elway, retire on a high note.
Amen to that.
Speaking of, and this wasn't on the list, but I ran across this on Twitter, so I'm going to ask you anyway. It's nothing bad or difficult. Great. Best player did not win a ring. I saw a list. Of course, a list is just barely because that's people who I think of. I saw Tony Gonzalez. Who would you say is one of your best players that you've seen play that did not win a ring? For example, Dan Marino, Barry Sanders, Tony Gonzalez. I guess you can say Randy Moss, even though I wasn't a huge fan of his.
I
Tony
think Dan
Gonzalez,
Marino
though.
and Tony. Yeah, those are
Oh
pretty
yeah.
shockers. You just think instantly, you would just think that that's not the case. But yeah, I mean that's correct.
If Tony would have had a quarterback named Patrick, he probably would have.
Yeah, or it tied in like Kelsey. I mean, come on.
Now talk about a now here no. See, you brought that up. Talk about a tight end competition. Can you imagine Travis and Tony? Both are probably
I
what are they
honestly
6,
couldn't.
7?
It's changed so much though. The position's
It
changed so
has
much.
absolutely.
It really, really, really has. So I mean, and that's why it's so hard to say like who's the greatest because there's different factors that really go into it. I mean, you really have to. It's hard to break it down.
Well, you got no, you're right, absolutely. You got quarterbacks. I mean, I'm not gonna bash Patrick, but you can. I mean, you can throw in the mix, but at the same time, you have to be like, well, what generation did they come out of? Because or era? Because I mean, you look at Dan, you can throw Dan in, even though he never won a ring. John, just because he had all those comebacks. No disrespect, Cleveland, but I mean, then you got running backs. God, I mean, you can go Jim Brown and the list goes on. Barry, who never won, but I'm with you on that. I think it
No,
depends on the era.
yeah, fair enough.
Speaking of Travis, the reason why I'm bringing him up is I know you earlier said that you don't really pay attention to a Tom Brady, expertise, so to speak. Now, if the question if the question reversed to Travis, could you tell me exactly how many kids he have, et cetera, et cetera?
I could definitely tell you a whole lot more about Travis than I could Tom Brady. He has exactly 0 children.
Are you sure about that? How much are you willing to
100%.
bet on that?
A lot. There's maybe been a tiny bit of mild healthy stalking, but no, I got the Kelsey. Kelsey's I got him down. He's also single.
There you
So
go,
I'll be in
Mr. Rich.
Oklahoma City or Kansas City, so Oklahoma City looking
I was gonna say,
I'll be in Kansas City
when?
for the next 2 weeks. I was like,
I
oh
was gonna say,
no.
well, apparently Miss Teshia knows a whole lot more than what we do. Apparently, Kansas City's coming to Oklahoma City for some
No.
reason.
I haven't been in so long anyways. I've got to get over there. I guess
Yeah, I'm sure
I
you're
guess
not
the
missing
season's
much though.
starting. What's that?
You're probably not missing much though.
In Kansas City? I love Kansas City.
Maybe the barbecue.
Can't say the same about Oklahoma City, although my cats came from there. So It's got that going for it.
Hey, you can't knock
I
it.
don't
You
know if
got.
I've shown you. Have I shown you my newest cat named Kelsey? Have you
I
seen
don't think
Kelsey?
so. But am I
She's beast.
surprised you named him Kelsey? That's the thing.
She's
Probably
a little
not.
redhead. She's so cute. And she's a beast. Like she's crazy. She fits her name perfectly. She's cute and crazy.
If Kansas, the Washington, when the Washington Redskins had to be forced to change their name to the Commanders, if Kansas City ever gets to that point, and I've heard a lot of rumors and articles and read a lot of articles, I should say, that Kansas City is on the verge of potentially having to do that. Realistically, I'm not trying to be funny. What would be a perfect name for Kansas City if by chance they have to change their name from the Chiefs because apparently it offends people?
Ooh, there's gonna be a lot of mad people with
Well,
tattoos
yeah.
if that happens. Yeah, I don't even like to really think about that because I mean you're not wrong. It's absolutely something that could
Yep.
potentially happen, but I don't want to put any stock into that until I have to. It's one of those we'll just ignore it until I can't anymore. So we'll just leave it as the Chiefs. That's the perfect name for now. I really
What's
haven't thought
Kansas?
that much about it. I really haven't. That's something I have to put a little bit of thought into. Maybe I'll do a tweet about that.
Where are they? Well, that'd be perfect. I'll share it. Um, what is Kansas City known for besides barbecue?
Bar-
Anything else?
Barbecue, Chiefs, terrible roads. Oh my gosh, their roads are awful.
The Kansas
Get a
City
flat tire
potholes.
every single time I go. No joke. Every single time I go. It's awful.
How
Other
about the
than that,
Kansas City Kool-Aid drinkers?
guess we got Big Red. Is that why? We already have Big Red. I mean, that fits.
I don't
Assuming
know.
he's
I
just
don't
going to
know.
stay on
I,
forever.
I, Speaking of retiring, he needs to retire not because he's winning, but because I would hate for him to go out. I've seen coaches go from here
Hmm.
to. And I
But you're
really would
talking
hate to
about
see
Andy
that
Reid.
for Andy
So
Reid. Yeah.
Andy Reid has two levels, right here and right here. And they're all, see how high those are? There's none of this. He's good. He could have a really bad year and he's still Andy Reid, man. They don't make him like him anymore.
Well, no, they definitely don't.
We're keeping him for I think another 20 years. That's fine. I can deal
How
with
old is he?
poor guy. Poor
How old
guy.
is he?
He's up there. He's 60 something. And I just looked that up the other day. Hold on, I can tell you.
If
I
he's in
mean,
his
I wouldn't want to still be working. I know that.
well,
65.
Lord,
Yeah. I
hmm.
mean, I think you can get another 20 out of him. Poor guy. Your football is your life. Just deal with it.
Now he's married, and I'm
Yeah.
guessing his wife's still around. Not to be
Yeah.
me, I'm guessing.
Yeah. I believe. Yeah,
How
she
about
is.
I'll say give him to. You said 65. Did he just turn 65,
I
or
believe
is it going
so.
to
Yep.
be?
No,
Hmm.
I think it was
I say
somewhat
give him to
recently.
68.
Realistically, I mean, that's only probably fair, but
You
sometimes
really think he's
life's
going to
not
be there
fair.
until
Yeah.
7? He's 68,
No.
60,
I'm
70,
being
85.
extremely selfish right now and completely unreasonable.
Him and Patrick Mahomes retires together.
I mean, grab enough rings. I don't care when he retires. I mean, shoot. Have another Brady situation on our hands here.
He's on
Which,
track to be the yeah. I mean, he's on track that he could surpass him. I could see that. He needs five
yeah, I
more.
mean, I'm hopeful. Two and
If he
four, so the odds are looking okay. But to keep it that way, it's extremely unrealistic thinking. It's hard enough, first of all, to even go. Second of all, to win.
right,
I mean, we've shown that clearly. Um, but to keep it at that level again and again and again and again. I mean, that's hard. You have to check all the boxes, have to be
well,
functioning correctly.
not to give you guys bad juju, but I mean, eventually he's going to have a season-ending injury, or Kelsey, or all the above.
Oh my
Just
gosh!
like I
Oh,
mean,
oh.
Tom had, Tom was at 20. Uh,
Hold on, I'm gonna
what
I'm gonna
what
send you
year
the
was
I'm gonna
that?
flip you up
2010
on
or
text.
2012? when Tom
Don't
had
talk
his
like that.
ACL.
Oh, yeah, it was somewhere
I
in
don't know.
there.
It was one of those years.
It's
But
football. I mean, it happens.
well, yeah.
Oh
I mean,
gosh.
it's gonna happen eventually.
I have to start. I'm gonna have to burn some sage after we're done with this. That was. Can be talking like that.
Just so you know, I am not responsible if he injures his if he if he has a torn ACL during
We
practice.
gonna have some words. I will be
Fall
going.
camp.
I will be
Fall
going to Oklahoma City at that point because I'm gonna come see you.
fall camp. Like day 2 or 3.
Mike,
Patrick
stop! That's
Mahomes.
terrible. Oh my goodness.
But
Don't miss it.
what's gonna happen
Yeah.
is the fact that it's gonna be Russell Wilson.
I'm just about to ask you if he got all his cookbooks in. Did y'all sending new cookbooks
Nah,
this year?
he's he's still
No.
got some cooking. He's gonna
Just sous
he's still
chefing?
got
All right.
yeah. He's he's going to be hopefully he got
It's an interesting situation. I mean, it could go either way, really. And I mean, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. That's all I have to say. I mean, and as I would like to step back and spectate. So I don't know. You never know, man. Never know.
I mean he may I mean seriously we may be surprising a lot of people this year or we may just be back to where we were the last 7 years.
Well, I think a lot of people are going to be surprised if it goes. I mean, if it goes really, really well, and if it goes really, really badly. So I think he's got the surprise factor, whichever direction he takes it.
Well, he's got the coach. So I mean now you can't blame the coach.
That's exciting.
So
Yeah, that's super exciting.
it's either you're going to see Russell Wilson the whole 17, 18 weeks, or you're going to see Jarrett Stidham as your backup, or our third stringer, Ben DiNucci. We all know that name from Dallas and the XFL. He ever followed it, but I never followed the XFL. So, um, but you know, I mean, he's got the players around him. He's got the coach. So if Russ sucks, then it's just a personal issue at this point. That's just all there is to it. So,
Sorry, I was on mute. Fair enough. Fair assessment.
but no, I think we'll be all right. I really do. Um, yeah, I think we'd be fine. Walmart's got us. If anything, Walmart has us. But hey, I mean, at least I'll say one thing, and then we'll move on to the next topic. At least one thing: at least the ownership is not afraid of spending money.
Oh yeah, for sure. You got that with Walmart right there. No joke.
I mean, I'm still waiting for that great value sign to pop up on the football field somewhere.
Generic football. I can't. You walked right into that. You walked right into that, man.
I think a
Dang.
lot of us Bronco fans are saying that right about now. I mean, what was it? Clyde's last episode he was on, or the episode he was on prior to the last one he was on. I'll have to find it. I'll have to find the clip and just like make a little highlight thing. But what he said, Teshia, was freaking hilarious. I mean, he had me rolling.
It's Clyde. I'm
Um,
sure it was. What was it? It never does disappoint.
no, he needs to create a podcast himself.
Some shock and awe sometimes, but there are valid points in there for sure.
Oh, it's Clyde. This dude. I went to Denver for the Arizona game last year because I was hoping to see Kyler and Russ, even though that's not what I got. But when you meet people in person from Twitter or Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat or whatever other mumbo jumbo social media platform that there is, you really don't know how tall or fat or skinny people are. Clyde is a tall mamma jamma.
Really? I wouldn't have
Oh
guessed.
my God, yes. I wouldn't either. No, because I'm 6 foot, maybe 6'1", pushing it. He had to be 6'4" or 6'5". He big boy, and I ain't talking about
That's
like
dang
big
near
like fat.
Travis
He's
Kelsey's
tall,
height. I mean, that's creeping up on that right there for
dude.
sure.
Him and Kelsey, that's a tight end battle right
That's
there.
a foot taller than me. That's tall.
No, he tall.
How's the
Yeah, I'm
weather
not
up
this.
there?
Yeah, Clyde. I know you're listening. I know you're gonna be listening to this. No, he tall. He
That's
big boy.
awesome. I get,
And don't
we're all really the same height when you're sitting in front of your computer.
we can all just be like, yeah, I'm skinny, even though we're not, gut hanging out.
Hey man, it's all
Yeah.
about perspective.
Hey, it's catfish. I mean, a lot of catfishing these days, people. Don't think I
You
don't watch a lot of
know.
MTV. But no, he
Oh,
can it was a fun time. He can bowl though, so don't ever tell him don't let him tell you that he cannot.
duly noted.
Yeah. So he's going to he's gonna beat you in bowling, just so you know.
Probably, I'm terrible.
You know, it's okay. It's perfectly fine. Way too early, way too early predictions. Sorry, Clyde, but we gotta move on. Way too early predictions. You know, yeah, it's all out of love, Clyde. You'll be on next week or the week after. Um, with Coach Zabaki. Way too early predictions. I know I don't really think much into the way too early predictions. 'Cause I think a lot of it's a bunch of bogus bull crap, but we'll just kind of have some fun with it. What is your high value of the Chiefs season for this year, and what best and worst case scenario for the Chiefs this year?
Chiefs by a million. I mean, best case scenario, we just take it right back. Worst case scenario, I don't know, kind of like you said, injuries, unexpected injuries. Seriously, I mean that can tank a
Well,
season right
yeah.
there. Um, yeah, it's so early, but I mean, obviously,
Oh,
just as
absolutely.
a diehard fan, I have to say, best case scenario, we hit the Super Bowl again, and even better case scenario, we win. But I know that's a big ask, but I have hope for now. We'll see. I might be crying come week 2, but
Or
that's
the
okay
third day
too.
of third day of training camp.
Training camp. Oh, yeah. You never know. Hey, it's okay to cry in football. It's fine. I do
What about
it.
baseball?
No shame. Baseball?
Yeah, can you cry in baseball?
I mean, I
I mean,
guess I never shed a tear over a game, but I don't
ta-
watch baseball. We got Arkansas got our rears handed to us, man. We
yeah,
got
I saw
knocked
that. That
out.
was
Oh my
disappointing.
gosh. I didn't lose and I didn't shed a tear over that, but was I that surprised? No. You always have to hope it doesn't go like that, but it is Arkansas, so as long as you expect it, you're not too disappointed.
Hey, it's all right. Those things, those kind of tournaments, especially in college, you can have one good weekend prior to NCAA regionals, and then you can just suck it up. I mean, look at OU. We sucked. We lost to a team called East Carolina. So whatever, whatever. For Denver, way too early predictions. I just hope for 1 year we can stay healthy. I hope 1 year we can have an offensive line, a quarterback, and if we can win 9 games and make the playoffs, that'd be amazing. I would take that. That's like the best case scenario. Worst case scenario, um, have another year like we've had the last 7 years. I mean, I don't know what else to really go with. I
I
don't know.
mean,
Worst case, I don't know. Is Russ losing? Is if Russ tearing his ACL? Is that a worst case? Because a lot of Broncos fans want him gone anyway. But then you get Jarrett Stidham. But then we can start tanking for Caleb Williams. And don't get Clyde on Caleb Williams. That dude's gonna love Caleb Williams from USC. So, or OU, depends on how loyal of a college football fan you are. Um, I don't know. I don't think there's even a worst case scenario. Realistically, the worst case scenario, like I said, injuries again, no O line, poor quarterback play. Best case scenario, maybe Sean Payton has got some magic or some magic potion or something. I don't know. Best case, make the playoffs. I'll take that. I'm not even worried about winning the division. For God's sakes, I just want to freaking make the playoffs. That's all I want. That's really what I got. So, unlike you, I don't have really high expectations this year. I just want us
I
to
mean, if you look at the statistics
make the
though,
playoffs.
like statistically, you should. I mean, you would think you're due for at least a pretty decent year. I mean,
That's
statistically
what we thought
speaking,
last year.
gold star, you got this.
I still gotta wear a Chiefs hat because you know our bet from last year. Um,
Cash it in.
you're way too early Super Bowl teams. Of course, this is going to change when we get closer to the season and in the season, obviously. But as of right now, whatever day today is, June the 5th, I think. Yeah. As of today, June the 5th, at whatever time we're recording, what's your way too early Super Bowl favorites to be in a Super Bowl?
Ugh. Honestly, it's so early. I mean,
Well,
of course,
absolutely,
let's
yeah.
like I could beat the drum, dead here, but love to see us go back. I don't know. It really seems like a really it's gonna I think it's gonna be a really interesting season. A lot of teams made some big
Hmm.
moves. I mean, honestly.
Yep.
Um, so here's a question for you. Out of all, like, let's say the teams that have been, down here the last, handful of years, what's your surprise team that you think maybe this year could make a run, like a valid run for it? That I mean, that really actually could. And I know it's early, but
Now, well, of course, no, you're right. No, no, I like this way too early. Just kind of get, kind of go back and then listen. Like, God dang, I was a retard saying that. Um,
yeah, don't
I don't know if I
cascade
can say
season,
retard
please.
on here, but whatever. Um, are you talking about just the Super Bowl in general, or just like playoffs?
Just a good run, like the team that you're like, okay, wow, I didn't see that happening. I can think of one,
There's two teams. I'm
but
gonna give you one. Can I give you two? One in the AFC, one in the
yeah,
NFC.
sure.
Coach Zablocki, you're gonna love me for this one. I say in the NFC, the Detroit Lions.
That's exactly where
I
I was gonna go with it. Yep.
really, really think they're right
I
there on
think
the
they're due
verge.
a good year, man. I mean, shoot.
Yeah.
They have the heart for sure. So that's exactly where I was gonna go.
Yep.
What's your other one? I want to hear it.
The AFC. Oh God. I. Uh, I'm not sold on the Jets, even with Aaron Rodgers. The AFC is so tough. Cause man, I could be biased, and be like, oh, Denver. I mean, they could be a team too, but I wouldn't surprise me, and because we got an actual quarterback supposedly.
Yeah, for real.
I'm still going to stick with them, even though I've stuck with them the last 3, 4 years, and they still let me down. I still like the Chargers.
Yeah, fair enough.
Justin
Yeah,
Herbie has got to give me something. Herbie's got to give me something here.
I could see it.
The
Yeah,
Browns, no. I just hope that I just
okay.
wish some bad things on them forever. Um, Cincy,
Lovely.
no. Hey, I mean, if you want to have a guy that abuses and sexually assaults women, go for it, but not in my book. No, I still go Chargers. I mean, when you look up and down the whole AFC, the Chiefs aren't obviously a surprise. I mean, we expect them. Buffalo is another one. If they can get to the Super Bowl, it'll be a surprise. Really, I don't see anybody else that really would fit that script besides I still like the Chargers. So
Yeah, I agree. Fantastic. Didn't mean to throw you off there with my question, but
no, you're good. No, Detroit, I think
yeah,
if I had to pick on who I'd be more sold on making a run, it'd be definitely Detroit.
yeah, I think it's possible for sure. I'll be watching.
J-
No joke.
oh, absolutely. Um, I lost my question. Oh, do you see? And we've seen now. I think it's this year, Germany. If not, it was last year. We've seen more and more international team or international games, I should say. London, Germany, Mexico. Do you think, from a football fan viewpoint and perspective, I don't, and I'll tell you why, but I want to kind of curious on your end. Do you think eventually the NFL is going to have a national team or international team, or do you think we stick it to keep it in within the America?
Mm, yeah, I mean that's hard to say because who really knows what their end game is. I think as of right now, I mean, I think that the international games are fun. I mean, I like it. The players seem to have pretty overall. I mean, they seem to be okay with it. I don't think I would love it. I would think it would be neat in general. I don't know if I could say that's. I have no idea. I don't know that that would be a good idea, but would it be something I would watch and keep up with? Heck yeah. I honestly couldn't even say how I think that would go. What do you think?
I think eventually they're going to get one. If anything, it's going to be London because we can consistently hear about London every single year. Uh, I like the players. That it obviously shows that they enjoy it. My only concern is one thing is the travel for a lot of these teams because, especially like say for example Seattle, you got your West Coast teams. I don't know how far it is from here to London. I'm guessing it's the same amount it was from here to Dubai when I left. So I'm guessing that 16-hour time frame. I'm guessing it's probably 15 or so. But that's a long trip, and I don't know. I mean, then you got TV rights, and you got I don't know. I think eventually they're going to. I think they're going to have an international team. I think London probably would be your best option. I think Jacksonville goes to London, but I don't know. I'm still on the fence. I mean, it's cool as one game deals, but for 8 home games of the year, I don't know, or 8 or 9, I don't know. I don't know. I'm still on the fence.
Yeah, I could see that. I think if it's not broke, don't fix it. It's working just fine right now.
Now, I do say this. I still think the NFL needs to get with Canada and merge and have like the Canadian teams a part of that CFL, whatever they call that thing, and be like some big old. I mean, you see it in the NBA and the NHL and baseball. I mean, why can't Canadian teams be a part of in football? I mean, I know I understand the football field and the dimensions is you know different compared to American version, but um I don't know. I think that'd be kind of cool. But keep on going real quick. I know slowly winding. I'm kind of watching this neighbor see what the crap he's doing. Slowly winding down on the show. Uh, college football, Arkansas, college football just around the corner. But what I'm looking forward to is next year, 2024. 23. I mean, of course, it's our OU's farewell, Big 12 farewell, goodbye saga. What do you want to call that? But 24, of course, Oklahoma goes into the SEC. I don't care about Texas. Goes into the SEC, and we'll find out exactly who they're playing. I think somebody said yesterday on Twitter June. I thought it was July, but it don't matter. Next year, I'm seeing a lot of Oklahoma, Arkansas in Fayetteville. For all of us Sooner fans, Miss Teshia, because you're a diehard Hogs fan, um, and we'll talk college football another time when it gets a lot closer than it is now. Um, what are some must dos in Fayetteville for us Sooner fans when we get there? Hopefully, get there next year, if not the year after. But whenever we get to Fayetteville as our first time there as a SEC conference game, what's the to dos there in Fayetteville?
Really just depend on what time of year. Fayetteville is great, but the cool thing about the area is that it's really like it's kind of all bunched in together. So as like Northwest Arkansas,
Right.
Fayetteville's just a stone's throw from a few places. But I mean, we have Crystal Bridges, which is a short trek from the university, and that is absolutely beautiful. We have a lot of really cool things in nature to do if you like to be outside. We have some beautiful lakes. Um, we have some really good restaurants. I mean, it's no Kansas City barbecue, but there's a few places to hit. You have to hit Dixon Street, of course. That's right, literally
Mm-hmm.
right by the university. They have some great bars and sports bars. Dixon is a must. You absolutely have to go to Dixon, especially if it's after a Hogs win. I wouldn't know if it's you were beating. I'm sure it would be even better. Might not want to trek down there during that, but yeah, Dixon Street gets pretty fun there. Definitely a must on that one. But other than that, just check out our nature, man. Arkansas is beautiful. She's gorgeous. Yeah.
I like that.
Yes, she
Yeah.
is. She's also a lady.
No, I'm looking forward to whenever the schedule is released. I really hope Arkansas and Oklahoma plays not just next year and the year after, but I know the SEC they have 3 permanent teams that you're guaranteed to play every year. I kind of want it to be, and I don't think a lot of people don't think it's going to happen anyway. but I kind of hope it's Oklahoma, Arkansas. Of course, OU, Texas. You can't get rid of the Red River Shootout. Um, I don't know. I still like Auburn and teams like that, but I still think I think if Oklahoma, I think if they have it. Long story short, I think if OU and Arkansas plays every single year, you can make a little fun rivalry out of that. Because I mean, what are we? What 3-4 hours away from
Oh,
Fayetteville?
it'd be fantastic. Yeah, it would
I
be
mean, come
like
on,
there'd be great games to go to for sure.
it'd be a whole lot better than Arkansas, Missouri.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a red and white team. I picked the white team on the road and picked the red team at home. I mean, that's how you do it. But anyway, no, I'm definitely looking towards forward to that. I'm sure, along with the remaining of the SEC teams, I'm sure it's going to be a fun environment when that time comes, regardless of how well we do or not do in the SEC. I guess what time will tell. But as we wind down the show, any uh any fun plans this week or weekend for you, Miss Tisha?
Not particularly. I don't even know what the weather's going to be like. Hopefully it's nice. I mean, maybe I'll get out and ride. Other than that, just twiddle my fingers until football starts. I mean, shoot, it's not. I don't have a whole lot longer left, so I can feel it. It's coming.
Camp what
Hey,
starts next month?
did you see the Chiefs at the White House today? If you haven't, you got to jump on
Did
TikTok
Joe
or go
Biden
to
fall?
no. No, but Kelsey was trying to take over the podium. It was hilarious. You gotta watch that video.
Oh,
I'll
that's.
find it and send it to you, man. That guy's such a troll. I laughed so hard.
I'm sure
It's
that
good
went well
stuff.
with the
Oh,
CIA and Secret Service.
yeah, Kelsey being Kelsey, man. I'll find it and send it to you. It's fun stuff. What are your plans? You have anything exciting going on? International
Nah,
trips I didn't know about?
definitely not. No, those days are done for now. I'm retiring. Nobody told me how horrible turbulence is on takeoffs, and your whole body
I
leaves
can't
your whole body
imagine.
for about 5-10 minutes, and no, that was fun, but I'm definitely not doing that or flying anytime soon. Nah, probably just more getting the podcast episodes going. Um, this week, of course, I'm recording on a Monday. This episode will be released on a Thursday. So while you guys are listening to the show, I will be recording for next week's episode of Air Raid Attack Podcast. I'm about to say Time to BS, a good buddy of mine, Dan's. Mr. and Mr. Herb and Raj of the Herb and Raj podcast will be recording as we speak on Thursday while you guys are listening to this episode. And then next week, Coach Zablocky and Clyde will be on. And then I got a OU player that I will not officially announce his name yet or announce who it is, simply because we are getting the final um, details in that one. So little podcast stuff, and then I'm like you, I'm gonna get ready for more football. We're just
Amen.
ever so close to that. But in the meantime, guys, it was fun. Miss Tisha, it was fun.
Thank
Glad
you
to
so much. I had a blast. It's always a good time.
and to all you Chiefs fans, at undefeated excuse me, at undefeated Mike is my Twitter handle. If you listen to this and would like to trash me and whatever, saying that Patrick Mahomes is going to tear his ACL in day 3 of training camp, then hey, if it doesn't happen, it happens to Russ. Please feel free to haha me all day
Cash
long.
in that receipt.
That would be that would be kind of cool. But in the meantime, uh, have a great rest of your day and your weekend, and we'll see you all next week with Herbert Raj from the Herbert Raj podcast. Until then,
Yay.
you're listening to the Air Raid Attack podcast. We'll see you all next week.